Hello, I'm Debbie Kay, a volunteer with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching Video Voters Guide. We are at MetroEast Community Media to talk with candidates running in the November general election. With me today is Lori Stegmann, running for Multnomah County Commission, District 4. Welcome, Lori. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Let's get right down to it. How do you think that the county can more effectively address the connected issues of mental and physical health, substance abuse, homelessness? It's a big topic.
It is. Well, and Debbie, as you know, all of those things are so interrelated, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to go to the county and serve the people in East County especially. I think one of the roles of government is to partner with other parts of the government, like the state and the feds as well. So as you may know, that much of our funding comes from state and federal sources. So I think that by having a good legislative agenda so that when we go to the Oregon State Legislature, we can talk about maintaining our current funding through the Oregon Health Plan and through the Oregon Health Authority. So what happened is that with the Affordable Care Act is that many Oregonians now have health insurance. But the problem is that we haven't really been able to ramp up as quickly as we need to. So we've got some big challenges to try to figure out how are we going to provide a bigger footprint to serve more people that need health care services without creating expensive capital outlay. So one of the things that I want to look at is like we need more health-based communities, clinics through our schools, the school-based clinics. And so there might be some opportunities to partner with some of the schools as we look at expanding those school-based services, as well as serving people in the community. Some other areas would be to work with our federal partners. So there's something called the CARA Act, and it's called the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act. And this is where Congress just passed its very a long-term range goal of helping mostly veterans that are in addiction and recovery. And it's really kind of scary because there is so much opioid and heroin use, and veterans are twice as likely to die from accidental overdosing. So they have something called a Veterans Treatment Center in 3 other counties in the state of Oregon. So I want to look at maybe having something like that in Multnomah County. So I think that that would be really helpful, as well as the Unity Center, which is an amazing model where folks can get mental health treatment that are experiencing a crisis. And I think that when you go to the doctor, it shouldn't be, if you have a mental health crisis, it should be the same as if you have a broken leg, is that you should be able to get all the services you need. But this is a really unique model in that it allows people to have a place to go instead of having to go through the 911 system or through an emergency room, is that there'll be mental health professionals there to treat people. And it's a really new, exciting model of having the private sector come together with county services as well. And then the other thing is just like continue the Joint Office of Homelessness, where the city of Portland and the county, they used to have 2 separate offices, and now that they finally joined those offices, and I think that that will help reduce a duplication of efforts. So I see many, many opportunities to work with our other jurisdictional partners, as well as the private sector, as well as many for-profit organizations, because it's really going to take all of us rowing together in the same direction if we're going to have any significant opportunities to change the direction of people's lives. Sometimes they get off track, and I'm excited to go work on those issues.
Thank you. How would you evaluate the effectiveness of the Home for Everyone plan to end homelessness in Multnomah County?
Well, I applaud their efforts. I think that they've done a phenomenal job. The problem is that this is such a huge, huge issue, and so sometimes even the strides that they've made don't seem as big as we'd like them to be. However, in 2015, they did house all homeless veterans. So that's a pretty remarkable achievement that we don't always talk about some of the successes that we've had. The other thing is that they've had a goal of increasing 650 shelter beds, and they've almost reached that goal this year. They have about 560, and I also like the fact that they focus on 3 areas. They've focused on prevention as well as permanent housing, and then as well as emergency shelter. So I think that they've done a phenomenal job, but there's just so much work to do. And I think the biggest thing is that it's made this rise up to be our #1 priority. So Mayor Hills and Chair Deborah Kafoury just committed $30 million to homeless services. So I think that that's really exciting, and I'm glad to see that the City of Portland and Multnomah County have formed this alliance to address this important issue, because again, we have to work together.
What do you think are the lessons learned from the Sellwood Bridge project that can be applied to other major infrastructure projects?
Sure, that's a great question. Of course, it always costs more than you think it does whenever you do a huge capital project like this. So my thought would be to double the contingency amount just in case, because there's always unforeseen engineering challenges that you just don't know sometimes until you start digging, and then you hit something unexpected. The other thing is that don't count your chickens before they're hatched. So in this particular case, Clackamas County voters were supposed to, or hopefully they were going to pass a vehicle registration fee. Unfortunately, that failed at the ballot, so that was like a $22 million line item that never materialized. So I think my approach is to manage expectations by under-promising and over-delivering.
What do you think could be done to ensure that the county is able to continue to provide community services in the long term with increasing population?
Yes, I mean, we're the Mecca. Everybody wants to come to Portland. So I think the best thing that we can do is make sure that our kids are ready and prepared to learn. And the county doesn't have a direct role in education, but they have things like the Sun School program or the Summer Works program. So I think that if kids can show up fed and housed then and sheltered, then that gives them the opportunity to lead a successful life. One of the things that I'm really excited about as a Gresham City Councilor and Gresham Redevelopment Commissioner is the Rockwood Rising redevelopment. And this development will be breaking ground in 2017. It's going to have a presence from Mount Hood Community College, the Employment Office, the Small Business Development Center, as well as MetroEast Media. And this is going to give people an opportunity to get education right in their neighborhood and to meet people where they are. And so I'm really excited, because this is what we need, is we need folks to have education and opportunity for jobs so that they can earn a family wage job. And if they can do that, I think that that helps our society, it builds a tax base, and it just builds a great quality of life for everybody that lives here.
Terrific. We are just about out of time, and I will offer my closing. Thank you for watching. And Lori, thank you for being here with us. This has been the Video Voters Guide. The general election is November 8th. The last day to register is October 18th. Please be an informed voter. Learn whatever you can about the candidates and the ballot measures, and exercise your right to vote. Thank you for coming. Lori, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Great pleasure talking with you.